Good morning and welcome to Thursday's Maths. So today we are doing a lesson on nets and we are carrying this topic on for tomorrow as well. So we're going to be learning all about nets, looking at 3D shapes, properties of shapes. If you can print some of these out and make these nets or have a go at drawing your own one, that would be amazing and would really help you. If you can't, don't worry, we'll just do it visually. But if you can, even better. Right, let's get started. Okay, first things first then, let's rewind. We're going to be talking about 3D shapes, which are three-dimensional shapes. So we need to be able to name them. So to have a look at this page, how many of these shapes can you name? Go. Well, when we are looking at 3D shapes, we want to look at all their faces, look at the shape of the faces, how many of the faces there are, and that's going to help us work out what these shapes are. So, first one, nice and easy. It's only got one face that goes all over. There's no straight lines at all. This one is a sphere, okay? So, a sphere is like a ball, okay? So, if you've got a football at home, that's a sphere. Right, this one here, it's got two circular faces, one at each end. And then it's got another face that goes all the way around. So it's got three faces. This is a cylinder. Let's go for this one next. This one's nice and easy. This one has got a face here and a face at the back, a face at the top, a face at the bottom, face at the side, face at the side here. It's got six faces. They are all squares. They are all the same. This is a cube. Okay, this one is similar to a cube. It's got six faces again, apart from they're not all the same size. Okay, so four of them are the same and two of them are the same. This is a cuboid. So cube, cuboid, cube, cuboid. And the difference is the cube has all the faces the same. Cuboid doesn't. Okay, we've got three left then. Right, let's start with this one. So any of the shapes, 3D shapes that end in a point, like this one and this one, are a type of pyramid, okay? This one has got a square for the base, so it's a square-based pyramid. This one up here, really, you could call it a triangular-based pyramid, but we can also call it a tetrahedron, okay? A tetrahedron. Right. Okay, this one then. So this one is what's called a prism. And there's lots of different types of prism. So prisms are 3D shapes that have got the ends, or the base, you want to call it, the ends are the same, they're identical. And then you've got lots of rectangles going around the middle section, the kind of barrel of it. And the number of sides of these end faces is how many rectangles you've got in the middle. So here you've got three sides, three edges, of this triangle. So you've got three rectangles going around the outside. This is also a type of prism because it's got two identical faces for the ends and it's got rectangles going around the middle. So the way you decide what kind of prism it is what the shape is at the end. So this is a triangular prism. So if you look at these on here, these are all prisms. Here is a triangular prism. This one we know is a cuboid. This one, it's got 5 sides, so it's a pentagonal prism. This one has got 6 sides, so it's a hexagonal prism. This one has got 8 sides, so it's an octagonal prism. And this one has got an awful lot of sides. I'm not actually sure how many sides that one's got. If it was 10-sided, which I think it's more than that, but if it was 10-sided, you would say it's a decagonal prism. Okay, so you've got pentagonal, hexagonal, octagonal. So most of them, they've got the first few letters of the name of the shape on the end and then agonal on the end. Okay, so the one in your book is a triangular prism. Super. So when we say 2D shape, we mean two-dimensional, so like a flat shape or a drawing of a shape. When we say a 3D shape, we mean three-dimensional. So if you have got a drink bottle or a box, these are three-dimensional shapes because they've got height, width, and length, or depth, you might hear it being called as well. Okay, so these on the screen are nets. And these nets are 2D shapes because they are drawings, but if we cut them out and folded them, we could make 3D shapes. So, it's quite hard to do this without cutting them out and making it. But what you need to do is you need to try and visualize. You need to try and think about, one, what kind of 3D shape has got 3 rectangular faces and 2 triangular faces, because that's going to help you. But also think about, right, if I folded that up and I folded that across, try and visualize in your head what that shape would look like. Now, this is a tricky skill, but the more you practice it, the better you will get at it. So I want you to have a go in your head. Try and visualize if you folded those shapes, you folded these nets, what 3D shapes could you make? And then when you've done that, have a look at B. So there you've got a pentagonal based pyramid. It's pentagonal based because the base is a pentagon, which has 5 sides. So can you sketch a net for a pentagonal based pyramid? What would that look like? Okay, have a go. Pause the video. Right, here is the first one then. So here is the net. So I know yours might look it looked a little bit different, but it had 3 rectangles and it had 2 triangles. Now, if I click on fold net, there we go. Hopefully you can see that it has turned into a triangular prism. It's all folded up. Ooh, let's try and unfold it so we can see it again. There we go. So up here, I've got the properties, and these properties are still going to be the same whether it's folded or unfolded. So the faces, there's still going to be 5 faces. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I fold it up, there we go, I've still got, so I've got 2 ends and then I've got 3 faces around the edges. I've still got 5 faces. Right, edges and vertices need to be a little bit more careful, but you need to think about where they join together. Okay, so with the edges, you can't just count all of the lines because some of those are going to join together. So you need to be a little bit careful with that one. So faces is your biggest clue. Okay, look at the faces. What shape are they? How many are there? And that's going to help you work out what the shape would be if it was 3D. Right, next one. Okay, here's the net that you had then. So you had a square face and you had 4 triangular faces. Okay, how do you think that might fold up? Well, the way this is showing, I think this is going to be the base and I think these are all going to fold up. Let's have a look. Yep, there we go. I was right. So they've all folded up to a point and then there's the base there. So it would stand up, if I can get it to stand up. There you go. So stand up a little bit like that. Right, lovely. What kind of shape is this? It is a square-based pyramid because there is a square on the base, which you can see there, and the other faces meet at a point. There's 5 faces because there's 4 triangles and 1 square. Perfect. Okay then, so this last one is probably the trickiest one. And there is other ways that you could draw this net as well. So this is a tetrahedron. Okay, everyone have a go at saying that. My turn, tetrahedron. Your turn, tetrahedron. It's a little bit really like a triangular based pyramid, okay? But we call it a tetrahedron. And it's got 4 triangular faces. Super. And then the last one then, there are different possible nets, okay? There's different possible nets for most 3D shapes, and there's a couple for a pentagonal-based pyramid. The easiest one is going to be to have the pentagon base in the centre and the triangles on each side. But you could also have the option on the right-hand side as well, okay? And both of those would work. And I think that's a really good point, is that you don't have to have just one net for one 3D shape. There are different ways you can make those nets, the different ways to make those 3D shapes. Right, think together, let's go. Okay then, so with these, which of these nets will form a cuboid? So, in your mind, picture a cuboid. What facts do you know about a cuboid? How many faces has a cuboid got? And if you know that, that's going to help you to work this out. So, if I think about a cuboid, which is, I suppose a book is a type of cuboid, or a Jaffa cake box, that's a cuboid. If I think about that, I can think it's got 2 faces that are maybe square, or they could be rectangular, that are kind of the ends. And then there's 4 faces that are the same, that go round the outside, the middle of the shape. They form that middle part, and they are usually longer, but not always. So I'm looking for 4 rectangular faces that are the same, and I'm looking for 2 square or rectangular faces that are the same as well. And I want to make sure that when I fold it, none of it's going to overlap, so there's not going to be any gaps missing. Okay, let's have a look then. So I do this with my hands, and it might look a little bit silly, but this is how I kind of try and work it out. So I try and think, right, if I look at A here, I can see it's got 4 rectangular faces the same and 2 square faces the same. So far, that makes sense. So far, this looks like a possible option to make a cuboid. Right, I'm going to fold that one up, and then I'm going to fold that up, and then this would then be the top, and then this would then fold down, and then this would then form a side. Right, I don't think that would form a cube. These 4 bits would all go round and make the kind of the tunnel bit of the cube, but these 2 bits are on the same side, so I think there would be a gap at the other end. So I think A would not form a cuboid. Right, let's have a look at B then. Right, well B, I can see straight away there's a bit of a problem. B has only got 5 faces, and I know that a cuboid has got 6 faces, so that one's not right. Right, on to C then. So I can see it's got 6 faces, I can see 4 are the same, and then 2 are the same. So far, so good. Let's see if it folds up. So I'd fold this up. So this is like my base on the bottom. This is going to fold up. This is going to form the side. This one is then going to fold up. Ooh, not sure about that, because that should be going round this middle, not being an end, but we'll keep going. We'll see if we can get it to work. So if this one's folded up, this one's going to go next to it. Ooh, no, this one does not work, because these 2 shouldn't be next to each other, because that means that they can't go around the middle of the cuboid. One of them's going to be an end. So no, C is not right. Okay, let's have a look at D then. Let's see if any of these are going to work. So I've got 6 faces, good start. 2 the same and 4 the same, looks good. Right, so this is going to be my base. So this would fold up. This one would fold up and be the top. This would fold over. Right, so these 4 work. I've got the kind of barrel of my cuboid, and then I've got an end and an end. Perfect. D would make a cuboid. And if you want to check that and make that and check it, absolutely do. Super. Right then, question 2. Sketch the nets for the following 3D shapes. So you've not got to make it very big. If you've got a ruler, absolutely use one. I haven't, so I'm going to struggle a little bit with this. Have a look, and if you've not got any pens or paper, just try and visualise in your head, what could this look like? And there's more than one option, okay? But have a think, what could these look like? Pause the video, have a go. Okay, answer time then. So, for the first one, you have got a pentagon. So it's a pentagonal prism. So with a pentagonal prism, we're going to have 2 pentagon faces and 5 rectangular faces. Now, I would always start with the kind of middle section, the kind of barrel, if you like, of the 3D shape. So I'm going to do 5 rectangles, all identical, down the middle, and then 2 pentagons on the end. Same with the next one. So this one's not a pentagonal prism. This one's a hexagonal prism, because there are 6 sides to the face. So I'd need 6 rectangles and 2 hexagons. And then the last one is a cylinder. So for this one, I'm just going to need 1 long rectangle, because it's got to be a curved surface. I'm going to curve that rectangle into a curved surface, and 2 circles to make the end faces. Perfect. Right then, it is workbook time. So you do have this lesson in your textbook. So I want you to have a go at page 36 and page 37. And if you would like to do the challenge, there is also page 38. Right, pause the video and then we'll go through the answers together. Okay, answer time then. So hopefully you found number 1 nice and easy. You just need to look at the shapes of the faces and the shapes of the net and match them up. Number 2 is all about thinking about 1, how many faces are there? If it's going to be a pyramid, what does it need to look like? And then visually kind of trying to fold it in your mind, using your hands like I do, if that's going to help, to try and work out which one looks like a pyramid. So It's a bit of a tricky one, but the top left would form a pyramid, and it would be a pyramid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So it would be a hexagonal pyramid. And then you've got the 6 triangles. So it would be quite a small pyramid. It wouldn't be a very tall one. It's got a very wide base. It wouldn't be very tall, but it would form a pyramid. And then the bottom right would also form one. We already know that one. That would form a tetrahedron. So, number 3 then. With this one, the shapes needed to be on opposite faces. Well, hopefully you could work out the square quite obviously, because it fits on one hexagon. The opposite face would be the other hexagon. With the triangles and the circles, you just needed to try and work out, if you put all those together, where would the opposite face be? Okay, and hopefully you've worked out it looks a bit like mine. If some of you have put it one over to the left, so you've gone like diagonally opposite, I'd give you that as well, okay? Because I think what it's asking you to do is the face directly opposite it, kind of horizontally, but if you've gone diagonally opposite, I'd give you that as well. Okay, here's number 4 and number 5. So number 4, it wanted you to work out how you could shade the top half of the cuboid. So actually all you would need to do is you would need to cut each of those smaller rectangles on the side in half, and half, the top half would be shaded, and then when it all folded up, half would be shaded and half would be white. Lovely. And then number 5, then your answers will vary because there are different ways you could have done this, but as long as you've got 4 rectangular faces that are, well, 3 sets of 2 rectangular faces that are the same. Okay, so you can see here you've got 2 smaller ones that make the sides and then 4 that go around. Super. Okay, and if you did the challenge, here is the answer. Okay, your answers will vary. You might have done it the opposite way round, but you want to make sure that kind of every other one is shaded in, basically. So then the same colours and shading don't touch when they are folded. Super. Right, well done if you've done that today. I know it's tricky without being able to fold them properly, but well done if you've been visualising along. Right, see you tomorrow.